Escapism of porn is in the past. Transformation is in the present and the future. I'm Dr. Trish Leigh. Let's talk about this today for your Monday motivation. Okay, so this porn brain reboot that we're doing together is a transformational process. It's incredibly personal and very powerful if you can see it for what it is. So let's talk about that today. Number one, I'm going to tell you what I mean about escapism being in the past and transformation being the present and the future. Then number two, we'll talk about what happens to your brain performance when you undergo this transformation. And then number three, I'm going to give you your brain tip for the day, the tools that you need to succeed in your porn brain reboot transformation. So let's dig in. Number one, what do I mean by the escapism of porn is in the past? Transformation's happening now, and it's happening for you in the future. So the reason that you go back to the screen is because your brain is pushing you there. It's pushing you towards the screen so that you can escape the pain or the discomfort from the past or that you're creating and perpetuating in your present. And we'll get there in a minute. We're going to stay in the past for a second. We know that a porn cycle is built on shame of feelings and arousal at the time of finding porn, escaping feelings that you had or thought you had in childhood that are still lingering in your nervous system. So let me expand upon that. What happens to most people is that at a very young age, they are feeling discomfort because of some challenge in their life. That can be a family situation, it can be bullying, it can be not feeling adequate for girls or boys or whoever in the world. It can be low self-esteem, it can be social anxiety, it can be just shame around sexuality because most of us aren't taught how to engage in healthy sexuality. And I have a playlist on that coming soon, so you can look for it because that is the next step. When you leave porn behind, you have to figure out how to have healthy sexuality in your life. And I'm here for that, but I digress. So when we are shamed about sexuality, and then especially when you feel arousal when you see pornography for the first time, and we know the science shows that most people are shown pornography by somebody else or they find it on accident at a very young age, too young of an age. And it's at an age where your brain responds at this hyperspeed to what you've just consumed on accident. And what happens is your brain gets linked to pornography in the screen neurologically because of this huge dopamine release. Now, this is what it did for you in childhood and likely is still doing for you. The dopamine release provides a flood of good feeling throughout your brain and your body. And it's the polar opposite of what you're experiencing in the world. The pain or the discomfort of reality in childhood or now is being offset by this neurological flood that helps you escape those uncomfortable feelings. It's used as a mood regulation tool. And we know that from the porn addiction quiz and the how do I know if I have a porn problem videos that I just made. So what happens is we know that so many people are using it to alter their mood. They have uncomfortable feelings or they feel stressed out or they feel bored and then they go to pornography to get this flood of dopamine that, remember, is frying out the reward center in your brain, creating underactivity in your frontal lobe, shrinking your brain size. Nothing good comes from it. But let's stick to what we're talking about. We're soothing those feelings through going to the screen. At the same time, pornography is a super normal stimulus. It is pulling you back to the screen when the discomfort gives you a push. That's dangerous. A push and a pull means it's going to be difficult for you to break this habit. So that is what the escapism into pornography is doing for you. That's the past. You're not going to need it anymore because the brain pattern that needs it is one that's existing out here in the extremes of too much extra fast speed and too much slow speed. And these speeds out in the extreme make your brain want to go back for calming and for stimulation. But when you heal your brain by, number one, no longer consuming pornography, your brain starts to make more of perfect processing speed in the middle. And what that speed does is it makes you feel calm and focused all the time, so you don't need to escape. So in this porn brain reboot transformation, we need to get you from A, the brain that needs to be soothed, to B, the brain that doesn't need to be soothed. That's how you succeed for the long haul. How do we do that? We create this optimal brain pattern of perfect processing speed by, number one, adiosing those discomfortable feelings from the past by resolving them. You can't just go, okay, they're gone. Or a lot of people, one person said this to me and it really resonated with me. I've tucked that in the back of my brain. You can't tuck experiences and uncomfortable feelings in the back of your brain without them rotting back there. We know that when you do that, it locks your brain up. It creates neurorigidity of the brain pattern that wants to be calmed and stimulated, of the brain pattern that wants to be soothed. So you have to release those feelings and thoughts based upon those experiences. The past is in the past. We know that when you experience those emotions by remembering past experiences, you basically create the same neurological event as when it happened. That's how PTSD or chronic PTSD lingers around in your brain. By resolving them and letting them go, and there's techniques to do that, and it's best to do that with a trained professional, but there's techniques to resolve those experiences. Let them go, free your brain up, which moves us to the present. In the present, you can use your life and every moment of your life as a transformational experience. So many people ask me when they join the Porn Brain Reboot program, how much time is this going to take me? And I'm like, the videos and the learning takes 15 minutes. And you're going to incorporate that into your life, but it's not going to tax your nervous system. You're going to nuance how you're living your life for the better. So it's going to become a new, better lifestyle, not necessarily something you're working on. That's why I always say the work, the work's there for you to do and you'll heal, but I don't love the term work because it's not work. Once you get engaged in it, it's transformation. It happens in the present moment. And I need to share this with you. You're already doing it. You're here with me in these videos. You are already in a transformational process. And that's how transformation happens. You don't really feel it until you gain some momentum and traction. And that's what I am here for. That's what I'm trying to help you do, is gain the momentum and traction that you need to be able to feel the transformation happening. But every time you come back to one of my videos, you are in a transformational process. You can do it. And you will do it if you want to stay committed to it. You are doing it. You're already doing it. So, transformation happens in the present, and guess what it does for you? It creates the version of yourself that you want to be in the future. But you have to identify that version first. You have to know what it is. So you can't, shoot an arrow without having a target. When you're playing darts, you can't get a bullseye unless you know what your bullseye is. So you have to identify the identity that you want to be, which is part of my Porn Brain Reboot program. You have to figure out what you want your persona or personality to be. That can be defined and created by you. If you're experiencing anything in your life that you don't want or you don't like, you have control over that. I know most people don't think they do. You're creating your own life. You're the creator. And if you don't like it, it's time to create something else. And this process, this transformational process, is going to do it for you. And I'm here to help you do that. So set your sights on what you want to create in the future and let's make it happen. So how do you get there? How do you get from A to B? You have to change something. Make a plan. So resolve the discomfort. That's number one. If you can figure it out, many people can't. But if you can figure it out, that's the way through. Figure out the discomfort of the past and the discomfort in the present and change something. Get rid of them. Change your routines in the present to become the new version of you. The number one thing you can do is fill the times when you used to watch pornography with something that is good for your brain and it's dopamine producing. That's a good hack to help you be successful. Then keep going. Stay the course. Change something, and if you have a slip or a relapse, change something else. You can do this. You will do it if you want to, and you're already doing it. So keep going. And if you want help on this journey, please reach out to me at drtrishleigh.com. I have a beautiful program that is designed to serve you. It is created and built on neuroscience. All the pieces are proven clinically effective, and I have put my heart and soul into it to be able to help you in a comprehensive, beginning to finish program that can help you through in 90 days. So go check it out. And as always, remember, control your brain or it'll control you.